Amoureux, I don't know how to pronounce that. Almost like that baby poop green, like, you know what I'm talking about? Hey guys, so welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the ColourPop Holiday Collection. So I just recently reviewed the Dark Blooms collection, the fall collection. I just recently, in the last month or two, did a holiday launch collection review. This is, there was two separate videos, one for high-end, one for drugstore. And basically in these videos, I went through a ton of the holiday collection launches that were already out, that were upcoming, and just kind of showing you guys what's going to be included and whether I think that they're interesting, would it be on my wish list, or would I want to pass on it. So in the drugstore video where I did that, I actually talked about the ColourPop Holiday Collection that I thought was the holiday collection at the time, and that was the Dark Blooms one that I just reviewed a couple weeks ago, and that was the fall collection, as I just mentioned. So here we are today. I should have known when I did that video that I'm sure ColourPop was going to come out with another collection, because ColourPop comes out with like 4 collections at once. It seems there's always so much stuff. I feel like by the time I order something, even when it's pretty new, by the time I get it, there's another collection coming out. So hopefully you guys are still interested in this. So this is the Amoureux collection. That is the French word for lover, actually. I was really happy with the color selection upon first glance online, and so I did get the whole collection. So you can get the entire collection, which comes with 2 eyeshadow palettes, 2 powder blushes, a pack of 2 glitter gels, and then it also comes with 4 lip oils. The entire collection is for $94 US. So there are also 2 trios. So each eyeshadow palette has its matching blush and lip oil. It's kind of complementary blush and lip oil. And each trio is $36. And then you can buy the Amoureux glitter gel kit. You can get each lip oil individually, you can get each eyeshadow palette individually, each blush. So as I mentioned in the Dark Blooms video, ColourPop is really great when they come up with big collections. They break it down really well so that you can kind of mix and match with whatever you want. So if you like one eyeshadow palette from the trio but you like the other blush, you can buy whatever you want. For today's video, what I'm going to do is show you each trio that I have used. So I've created 2 separate looks, and then in each look I also used one of the glitters, and then I'm going to talk about the collection as a whole. Is it really, you know, a collection that I think you guys would enjoy, or is it one that we could pass on this year? Keep in mind I'm also gonna have swatches of the entire collection at the end of this video, so if it's something that you're interested in, stay tuned for that. So let's get down to it. So the first trio is called Excuse My French. So this trio, let's talk eyeshadow palette first. This is the Boudoir Noir, kind of neutral. There's some nice browns, a nice kind of olivey green. There's some gold, some champagne, and then you have some glitter as well. It's really a beautiful palette. I love this color scheme. I'm very into the browns and golds and champagnes, as I've mentioned before, especially for every day. And I actually played around with the green in the look that I created, which I am gonna have the kind of quick sped up tutorial where I show you kind of the look I created with each trio. This one had the green, which I'm usually least intrigued by from all the colors within these collections, but I really enjoyed it. They're beautiful greens. They have, you know, not too much yellow. You know how sometimes greens can kind of be like neon-y or like yellowy greens, almost like that baby poop green, like, you know what I'm talking about? These were really rich and kind of cooler greens, like cooler undertone, and I really enjoyed it. So in this palette, there's a really good mixture of texture as well. There's quite a few mattes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mattes, and it's a good color range. You get a really nice light beige taupey kind of shade. It's more of like a cream, sorry, that would be the best way to describe it. It's a very creamy shade, but with a bit of a yellowy kind of beigey undertone, and it worked really well. I kind of set the eye primer with it, and it just worked well to kind of create a base. It also works well to help blend out the shades. There's a shade called Desire, which has a bit of it's like more of a yellowy brown. So that is a pretty warm shade. It's probably one of the warmest shades in here. The rest is pretty neutral. I really like when they have a variety of browns to help contour the eye and really help blend out. So I really was happy with the brown shades in this palette. And then the greens, as I mentioned, are really, really impressive. I used and enjoyed both of them. Then there are 4 metallics. There is a champagne, 2 kind of differing browns, one a little darker than the other. And then there is a gold. So again, color scheme wise, really beautiful. Enough mattes and metallic mixed in that I think you can create multiple different looks and it would be useful for a lot of people. There's one sequin, which is another nice brown, and then there is one glitter. So this is the glitter, and they actually are really beautiful. This one specifically worked really, really well. I popped it in the center of the lid. It really goes on easily. Really happy with formula wise all throughout, happy with the mixture of color and texture. So that was really impressive. There's enough like light mattes that you could do some really basic everyday looks, but there's also enough darkness and, you know, the differing from the brown to the green, and then also glitters and metallics. It's a beautiful and well thought out palette. So the blush that goes with that is called Love Story. And it's a peachier, like nudie pink. So it does have a bit of warmth to it. And again, I'm gonna have swatches really up close for you guys at the end. It's that shade there. It actually, both of the blushes have a bit of a sparkle to it. But like, for example, I'm wearing it on my face today and I don't really see much sparkle. It just gives off a little bit of a sheen. There is a tiny bit of sparkle to it, but I think that, you know, people that don't like sparkle in their blush, I don't think you're gonna be mad about it. It kind of reminds me of some of the Tarte blushes that have the tiniest bit of sparkle to it, so that's comparable to those. So really happy with these. They're very pigmented. I've said time and time again, I love ColourPop's blushes, and this one was a hit. I loved the color. It was very pigmented, but also easy to blend out. So really like that. There also on the eye, I placed the Glitterly Obsessed gel glitters. And there's 2 in a kit. So it comes in this little kit. So these specifically are not sold separately, although ColourPop does have other glitter gels that are sold separately. This one is sold in a duo. And the first one I used in the look was the gold one called Gaze, because I thought it matched the palette the best. This is a pretty gold, kind of champagne glitter. They feel very jelly-like. They are very thick. And then when you swipe them along, they're actually kind of sheer, more sheer than the actual glitter in the palette, but you can also build them up. They're honestly very beautiful. So I actually was going to pop this on the lid, trying to, you know, use it as a lid topper. It is actually advertised as a body and hair glitter, which I have yet to use. I'm not really like into that, but I did use it kind of to line under here, because I did bring the liner and kind of wisp it, like flick it in to the inner corner. And so I brought the glitter underneath and along the lower lash line, and then I also placed it over top of the winged eyeliner that I did. It wasn't the easiest to work with. It's really hard to use with a brush. So the first look that I created, I was too lazy to go upstairs and grab a thinner brush. So I used I think I used this one. It's a Morphe angled brush, like an angled brow brush or a liner brush. And it was really difficult to get a precise line. It was kind of too thick. It was hard to get a very thin line. So if you are going to kind of try to create liners or place it in a more small area where you want it to be precise, use a very fine brush. They're just not the easiest to work with when you're trying to get them very precise or using as a liner. So just be careful if you're going to do that. I think they would be very fun to pop on the eye though, as like a lid topper, but I wanted to let the kind of glitters and metallics shine through from the palette. Ultimately, I was happy with the glitter I used. I just think I would have enjoyed it more if I used it as a lid topper, or maybe if I had tried to use a more precise brush. Formula wise, they are very fun, and I think they would be fun to use in like the body and the hair. They're very glittery and very, very fun. Last but not least, in that first look, I used the lip oil called First Date. So this lip oil is kind of like another peachy nude type shade. So the lip oils are pretty sheer. but they offer enough color that it's a beautiful wash of color. You could get away with just popping it on the bare lip if you wanted a more natural lip. I personally decided to line my lips and then fill them in so there was a bit more color to it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this still pulled through. It was a nice wash of color. It was a beautiful sheen, and it really felt nourishing. My lips have been so dry, and I used this one yesterday, and I actually kept applying it throughout the day because it felt so nice. It's not sticky. It's not overbearing. It's very comfortable, very lightweight, and very nourishing because today my lips feel a lot less dry, and I've really been enjoying the lip oil formula. So obviously the lip's going to be a bit more natural. They don't really offer any lipstick or any, you know, liquid lipstick, not even a gloss, only lip oils, which is okay. I think it would have been nice to have some option of lipstick because maybe some people would want you know, a lip, but you could go onto their ColourPop's lip products or just use one that you already have if you want a darker, more, you know, defined or more dramatic lip. Ultimately, I was very happy with all the products I used yesterday when I recorded that look. So now what I'm going to do is pop on the quick little setup tutorial of what I did with this collection and, you know, let you guys see the look that I created and how I did it. And then we're going to talk about the look that I created today. So we are on to the Ménage à Moi. So it is a more cool toned purpley mauvey palette. Again, formula through and through, very impressive. If you have not used ColourPop's eyeshadow, it is honestly very great quality and very affordable price. I'm really impressed with this palette specifically. I think even more than the one before, just in terms of color story. Honestly, I don't know. I think I like both. I just really am loving today's look. I think even more than yesterday's look. So again, a good variety of texture. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mattes. Again, good range of color. You have 2 lighter ones to help blend out, to help transition. Darker as you go down the mattes. So a nice mauvey shade, and then you get into the 2, you know, degrees of purple, a more plummy shade, and then a more kind of berry shade. Really, really, really beautiful. Really loved the color selection. And then you have 1, 2, 3 metallics. Really bright, beautiful, kind of icy champagne. Then there's actually this one here, which I'm really happy that they included something like this, because I know not all of you want like beaming highlight or beaming like metallic on your eyelid. You want maybe something a little softer, and that's exactly what they put in this palette. This one right here beside that lip oil, that's the Amoureux metallic. It is like a peachy pink metallic. It is probably the warmest shade and the only shade that has a bit of warmth in this palette. Really stunning because it is very natural, but still a beautiful sheen. Then there's also a darker, more kind of plummy burgundy berry metallic down there. So good range of metallics as well. You get 2 sequins in this palette, a more purple based and then a more kind of burgundy based sequin, and then you get 2 glitters in this one. So this one's more pink and this one is more kind of multicolored. So the pink one is called Confess. These also swatch really beautifully. They're pretty impressive, especially for a drugstore palette. But no, they really are nice. They're very finely milled. You get a good variety, that multicolored, which actually is very holiday themed to me. I think that the multicolor is really fun for the holidays. And then the pink as well to go really well with the palette. So again, another hit from ColourPop. Really loved this palette, and I think that the look that I created today really stands out to me, and I just really, really was happy with this palette. I don't know which one I prefer. I think because I love this look so much, I prefer this palette, but I think I could create just as fun looks with that one as well. I forgot to mention that this bundle, this trio, is called Très Jolie, which actually means very pretty in French. I think the idea behind this collection was that it is French, obviously. And then this glitter that I used in the second look that I used on my eyes today was called In Your Eyes, and it is more of like an opal-y kind of gold duochrome. Like it's very, when you look in the actual pot, it's very like almost white with a blue, like an opal, but then in the light it's very gold. So definitely duochrome feels. And this one actually worked a little better. I think it is because I did bring down a better brush. It was a actual pointed eyeliner brush, so I could get very precise. I did put a dab of it in the inner corner, which I'm loving, and then I actually used it to kind of line. It's a somewhat cut crease today, so I did kind of use it to line there. I wasn't able to get as thin as I would have liked, because this, especially since this one is a little chunkier, but I did feel like it was easier to use with the brush that I used today. I think that it really took the look to a new level. I think it would also be fun to pop on the lid as well. Then we went on to blush, and the blush I used today is called Secret Crush. So this is a more pink blush. It definitely is a bit cooler toned than the first blush, and it does have a sparkle as well. It looks a little bit more silver. Same idea as the first blush, pigmented, easily to blend out. The glitter was not too prominent. It was very subtle, barely noticeable. And I just think that it looks really stunning on the cheeks. Again, blends out like a dream. And then the lip oil that I used is called Smirk. And this one is still pretty peachy. So this one here is the first one, First Date. Again, that very peachy nude. And then this one is the one I used today. still has very peachy vibes to it, but when you see it next to the one I used yesterday, it is a lot more pink. So I think it's like a very peachy pink, whereas the other one was a very like peachy nude. Another great trio. I honestly recommend both. If you like the collection as a whole, I think you know, both really meshed well together. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna pop on the tutorial for the look that I have on today so you guys can see the products that I just talked about being applied up close and personal and how I created this look. And then we're gonna come back and talk about the last two products in this collection and my final review. So I know this has been a lot. I know when I do these whole collection reviews, they are a bit of a longer video. I'm sorry, but I try to go really in depth and show you multiple looks, because if I were to come on here and talk about a whole collection and give you my opinion without using all of the products, I don't think that that's really honest opinion unless I use them at least once. The last two products are more lip oils. They have two lip oils that are not included in the trios. So this one is called Hey with 3 Ys. This one is a lot more pink. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm surprised they didn't include this one in the trio that I used today because it's very purple, and this one is very, very purple. And I think it would have matched better with that trio. If you want to kind of stick to the cool tone purple look, then I would recommend going with this lip oil over the one that came with that Jolie trio, sorry. That one was called Smirk. So the Hay one is the coolest, like the cooler toned lip oil. It is actually probably one of the more pigmented ones, and it's honestly stunning. I think this is going to be a really beautiful one to pop on for a more natural lip, but still have enough color. And then the last one in the collection is called Truth Bomb, and this is the lightest one. So you can almost like barely see the color. And this is like a very, very nude shade and very sheer. So I actually kind of like that. This would be probably the one I would choose if I'm like wearing no makeup. So I think altogether the collection is very well balanced. Definite recommend. I was really impressed once again by ColourPop. I think that these color schemes are much more up my alley than the Dark Blooms collection. So ultimately I think I'm way more impressed with this collection than that one. I'm not saying it's not worth checking out, but I really, really liked this collection even more than that one. So this one I think takes the cake and is my favorite collection so far from ColourPop in a long time. I'm really impressed. So yeah, that's basically my whole in-depth review of this collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do purchase anything from this collection, I hope you enjoyed just as much as I did. Let me know what you guys thought of this collection. Do you think that it's a good holiday collection, or is it one that you would want to pass on? Don't forget to like this video if you did enjoy, and subscribe to my channel. I'm also going to have swatches coming up in a couple seconds, so stay tuned if you're interested in seeing every single product that I just talked about swatched up close and personal. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.